We all have moments where something doesn't work out the way that we're expecting to or planning for it to be, and we can feel a little bit crappy and let down as a result of that thing not coming true or being fulfilled in the way that we were hoping it was going to be. And it's only natural to feel that way. The problem is when we think about how everything would have been so perfect and great if it had only gone the way we had wanted it to. And the concept that I'm bringing to you today is one that considers the unlikely nature of things cropping up into our lives, new doors opening when other doors close, that we can't expect, that we can't even really plan for or properly consider because they are so spontaneous. But that these things are in fact actually, a lot of the time, a lot better and a lot more useful and a lot more than we could have even hoped for with the previous goal that we had in place. And even though it is so easy to get all consumed by this current failure or disappointment, it really is, unfortunately, our monkey brain's short-sightedness again coming into play to make our lives worse than they have to be. The opportunities that we find, the things that we are able to do, a lot of the time just come out of thin air. And it might just be because you bumped into someone at a networking event, or a friend connected you with another friend who's doing something with some other person that you have a mutual interest with. And so then from there you get an opportunity to do something new or different, or in a slightly different way that you've been doing the same thing you just recently failed in. And this concept of failure as a whole is, I think, unfortunately so saturated with unhelpful perspectives that failure is bad or wrong, and that means something about your own inherent self-worth as a result of not having achieved X, Y, or Z. In that kind of way, it's not really what you're wanting to use. You're not really going to get much out of that, except for a cup full of self-hate and a fist full of bad times, really. So a much, much better path as compared to this cycle of hatred is to instead realize and recognize that we don't know everything. We cannot ever know everything. And we don't know whether something bad that happens actually turns out to be one of the best things that happens to us. We don't know whether something that seems to be great happens to us ends up being one of the worst things that happens to us. And so for me, what I've made that mean is that in each and every situation, I have to take it with a grain of salt, because there is no single thing that I can be certain is what it seems to be, as strange as that sounds. And I think being able to sit with the moment, sit with whatever is happening, whether it might on the surface seem to be bad, seem to be good, we are that rock, we are that reliable, sturdy foundation to give ourselves a consistently pleasant experience. And I've been thinking about a lot lately around how expectation is the thief of joy, and I will definitely be making a longer video just on that particular topic. But we have to consider that fundamentally hope and fear come from the same root of expectation. And if we're constantly expecting something to happen, be it good or bad, there is a far greater chance that's going to result in us being robbed of the joy that we could have just from simply existing. But nonetheless, a much longer video is needed to properly unpack and explain that as articulately and thoroughly as I can. So for now, I'll leave you with the simple single takeaway that I've been able to make for this video that highlights the grand importance and necessity for failing or not reaching at least some of your goals, at least some of our goals. I feel that success and doing well is important. Of course, we do need to be moving things forward and progressing, but it can get really tough when it doesn't work out and we're in that moment. And I found that this mindset is where it becomes most necessary to adopt, because, as we've already said, it's too easy to give in to those negative thoughts. So when I keep this in mind, it makes my day better. So I hope that it makes your day better whenever these things might come up. So once again, if you have any comments, feedback, suggestions, I'd love to hear from you. But other than that, as always, thanks for watching, thanks for being here, and do more than you think you can.